The Academy's champion fell in seconds. His opponent simply smiled, human. The Galactic Combat Academy had never seen silence like this. 30,000 beings from across the known system sat frozen in their seats, their various breathing apparatus, vocal cords, and sensory organs working overtime to process what they had just witnessed. Champion Kythera lay motionless on the crystalline arena floor, his 8-foot frame of corded muscle and chitinous armor cracked like broken pottery. The Vorthon warrior, undefeated in 732 consecutive matches, had fallen in exactly 3.7 seconds. His opponent stood calmly in the center of the arena, not even breathing hard. The human was unremarkable by galactic standards. Average. Height, pale skin, brown hair cropped short. No visible armor, no cybernetic enhancements, no genetic modifications. Just standard Academy combat attire and that strange, quiet smile. "Impossible," whispered Director Vex from the observation deck, her 3 eyes blinking in rapid succession. "Run the combat analysis again." The holographic display materialized before her, showing the fight from 17 different angles. The Academy's most advanced AI systems had recorded every nanosecond, every micro-movement, every quantum fluctuation of energy during the brief encounter. The human had simply walked forward. No battle cry, no intimidation display, no activation of any known martial techniques. Kythera had charged with the force that could shatter titanium bulkheads, his bio-enhanced claws extending to their full deadly length. Then the human had moved. The AI struggled to track the motion. One frame showed the human stepping slightly to his left. The next frame showed Kythera already falling, his nervous system somehow completely shut down, his weapon hand empty, his eyes rolled back in unconsciousness. "Sir," came a trembling voice from the Academy's head of combat analysis, a crystalline being whose species had evolved specifically for pattern recognition. "The sensors show no energy discharge, no use of psionic abilities, no deployment of any technology we can identify." Director Vex's mandibles clicked nervously. "Then how?" "I believe," said the analyst, his voice cracking like breaking glass, "the human simply touched him." The medical bay filled with the Academy's finest xenobiologists as they worked on Kythera. The Vorthon champion was alive but deeply unconscious, his vital signs stable but his neural pathways showing patterns they had never seen before. Every pain receptor in his body had simultaneously fired and then gone completely silent, inducing immediate shutdown. "It's like his entire nervous system received a perfectly calibrated electromagnetic pulse," Dr. Helix explained to the gathering crowd of Academy officials, "but delivered through physical contact alone. No technology, no weapons, just precise knowledge of exactly where and how to touch." Professor Yent, the Academy's leading expert on combat evolution, stared at the readouts. "In 900 years of galactic combat sports, we've seen species that could tear through starship hulls, beings that could manipulate gravity itself, entities that existed partially outside normal spacetime. But this, the human had been escorted to a private waiting chamber, though escorted was perhaps too strong a word. He had simply followed the guards politely, still wearing that slight smile, as if this was all perfectly routine. Director Vex found herself standing outside his door, uncertain. In her 3 centuries of running the Academy, she had interviewed champions from 6,000 different species. She understood the psychology of combat, the drive for dominance that existed across all aggressive life forms. But humans were new to the galactic community. Their homeworld had only been contacted 18 months ago, and their delegation had requested to enroll 1 student in the Academy's program. The request had been amusing to most. Humans appeared to be a weak species, no natural armor, no claws, no venom, no size advantage. They were granted admission as a curiosity more than anything else. She entered the chamber. The human was sitting quietly, reading something on a small device. He looked up and smiled, that same calm, friendly expression he had worn in the arena. "Director Vex," he said, rising politely. "Thank you for the accommodation." "Explain," she said simply. Her translator unit struggled with the concept of brevity when speaking with humans, but she wanted answers. The human nodded as if expecting the question. Your champion attacked in a way that exposed 47 critical neural pressure points. I simply pressed 3 of them in the correct sequence and timing. That's impossible. Those pressure points are species-specific. Vorthans have been studying their own combat anatomy for millennia. Yes, the human agreed. But you see, Director, humans had to become very good at understanding how bodies work. We spent 300,000 years as the weakest predators on our world. Vex's translator finally caught up with the implications. Weakest predators? We couldn't outrun our prey. We couldn't overpower it. We had no natural weapons. So we learned. We learned anatomy, physiology, psychology. We learned exactly how every creature around us worked, what made them strong, and more importantly, his smile widened slightly, what made them vulnerable. The director felt something she hadn't experienced in decades, a chill running through her carapace. We've been studying your Academy's database since we arrived, the human continued conversationally. 6,000 species, all their strengths, all their combat techniques, but more interestingly, all their weaknesses. Kithera was actually one of the easier ones. Vorthan neural clusters are remarkably accessible once you know where to look. You studied all of them? Director, the human said gently. On Earth, humans weren't apex predators because we were the strongest. We became apex predators because we never stopped learning how to kill everything else. Director Vex stood in the silence that followed, finally understanding why the arena had gone so quiet. It wasn't shock at seeing their champion fall. It was the sudden realization that humans hadn't sent their champion to the Academy. They had sent their student.